Alright guys, in this video we're going to be looking over the Blackwood PTS changes week 1 to the Champion Point 2.0 system. And already ZeniMax Online Studios has seen fit to adjust the Champion Point system, saying that they want to focus more on horizontal progression in terms of player skill, item sets, and slottable choices or Champion Point choices in terms of the Champion Point bar you see up here, right? So what was changed in the Champion Point system? Well, nothing really significant in the craft tree. I mean, you might as well just kind of ignore whatever happens here for some time. Same old passives, same old slottable nodes. You still have Professional Keep, you still have Rationer. Just a side note that Rationer no longer affects your Psijic Ambrosias or Mythic Ambrosias. That was unintended on a side note. So if you see that Rationer is not affecting your Mythic Ambrosias anymore, that is not a bug, that is intended. However, your provisioning passives, such as what is it, Connoisseur or Gourmand, is still going to affect your Mythic Ambrosias. Alright, let's move on to the blue tree. And the blue tree saw the most significant changes. And as you can tell, apart from the slottable nodes, right, we see that a lot of the passive perks have been nerfed. And a lot of people are upset about it, but honestly, like, damage is still really high on both live and the public test server still. We're still seeing dummy parses upwards of 90k and so forth. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but again, they want to focus on the horizontal progression more so than vertical progression. And this has, in my estimates, we've previously said on the ESO University website and in Discord when we set out the allocations for you guys to use for the Flames of Ambition patch, we've previously said that the 2100 champion points is going to be your min-max point. And by min-max point, I mean like every passive perk taken in addition to 4 slottable nodes. Beyond 2100 right now on Flames of Ambition patch, there's absolutely no point going further, besides wanting more points to other slottable nodes, if you don't want to respec every time. But for the Blackwood chapter, it's the min-max point is probably going to be around 1600 champion points or so. This is a very, very big step down from 2100 champion points being min-max point. And previously on the Flames of Ambition public test server, before the player feedback was taken into account, the previous min-max point before 2100 was 2700. So we're going to see a lot of scaling down here, not just in terms of points, however many points you need for the champion point system to be an optimized or effective DPS tank or healer, but we're also going to see a scaling of the power down in conjunction with the scaling of downscaling of how many points you need. So on live, it's like 40 points you need into precision, and this has been cut into half from 640 crit chance, I believe, into 320 crit chance. And you can see similar numbers here, such as staving death. I mean, instead of 40 points into Hardy, we see 20 points. Instead of 4% damage reduction, it's 2% damage reduction. Same story for quick recovery, same story for elemental aegis, and same story for preparation. So you're going to see a loss in not just your crit chance, you're going to see a loss in your mitigation, you're going to see a loss in max stats, such as max stamina and max magicka. In the extended might tree, we also do have some scaling down here of piercing. And of course, we do have a new champion point slottable called Weapons Expert, and this increases your damage done with light and heavy attacks by 3% per stage. So this is one of the 2 new damage slottable nodes you can pick to equip on your champion point bar for your damage setup. Now, before we move on to the next aspects or next changes of the warfare tree, I want to point out something that I feel like if there's any developers from ZeniMax in Twitch chat or watching the video here on YouTube, the change to piercing is a bit worrisome. It's gone down from 1400 penetration to 700. And while this may be fine for magic DPS compositions or groups or, you know, whatever builds out there, since most people are wearing 7 light armor, or the fact that light armor does offer you know, penetration, as opposed to medium armor not offering penetration, you're going to see, again, a much more heavy-handed swing towards magicka yet again this patch. You know, Flames of Ambition kind of pretty much has had Magic on top, and then now this patch, I don't think Stam will really be considered. It's already hard enough to optimize for penetration for most experienced groups, or even most progression groups, which is why people don't run Stam. So this is going to be a worrisome thing, I think. And I'm kind of curious as to how they'll tackle the problem of penetration for Stam and the DPS. But anyway, yeah, Battle Mastery, Miney, Flawless Ritual, War Mage, still mostly there. And again, the power of the slottable nodes hasn't really been touched. As you can see, you still need 50 points. We also have the Master at Arms Champion Point slottable node. This is the second damage slottable node that was added to the Warfare tree.
Like and subscribe.
And the Master at Arms is something, an option I feel like definitely for a lot of DPS classes this patch, this upcoming patch. Otherwise, we do have another sub-tree or sub-constellation tree within the Warfare CP 2.0 system. And that's going to be, again, Blessed was cut in half, but Blessed acts as the entryway into the Master Curation sub-constellation. And we have 4 new Champion Point slottable nodes that have that are related to healing done. So the first one we'll go over is From the Brink. Whenever you heal yourself or an ally under 25% health, you grant them a damage shield that absorbs up to about 2.5k damage per stage for 6 seconds, and this goes up to 11,000 damage. This effect can occur once every 30 seconds per target. So this is a pretty interesting perk that I think some groups will seriously consider. In Limiting Overflow, overhealing yourself or an ally grants them health, magic, and stamina recovery equal to 0.5% of your max magic up to a cap of 150. So the current bonus is 108 for me, because this is based on how much max magic I have, and I'm just a tank on this character, not a healer. This effect can occur once every 12 seconds per target. Yet again, pretty interesting concept for both PvP and PvE. Salve of Renewal. Whenever you remove a harmful effect from yourself or an ally, you sanctify the ground beneath them and heal them and allies within 8 meters for 1305 health, up to 6400 health per stage. And this effect can occur once every 10 seconds. So again, another powerful option for both PvP and PvE. The fourth and last slottable node we have here is Hope Infusion. Healing yourself or an ally under 50% health grants them minor heroism for 1 second for every 300 magic recovery you have. This effect can occur once every 10 seconds. So, if I guess if you have 3,000 magic recovery, you can get this basically on cooldown, the minor heroism. But I don't think realistically most healer specs will have 3,000 magic recovery. They'll probably have anywhere between 1,400 to 2,000 some hundred magic recovery at most in PvE. For PvP, it might be a different story. So again, pretty powerful options for both PvP and PvE. I do like that the effects occur once per target rather than once per proc. I would say Limiting Overflow is something that some groups can look at as a replacement for the Worm Cult set for PvE. But other than that, I think a lot of the player feedback last patch for Flames of Ambition was that, you know, apart from these basic nodes, people wanted more healing nodes and more choices. And there we go. I think the Master Curation sub-constellation does a great job. Other than the scaling down of the Warfare perks and passives, in addition to the 6 new slottable nodes, we do have some changes going on with the fitness tree as well. So just like the Warfare tree and just like the Warfare tree's perks that were like halved, we do have a cut down of both the scaling and the amount of points you need to invest into these perks. For example, I mean, I think this is on live again, 40 points to 20 points as of the Blackwood PTS. They nerfed Hasty, which is your movement speed from live. They nerfed the block cost reduction. So I think with this change, I definitely think the race cost reduction glyphs for jewelry for PvE tanking might be a thing, depending on how many sturdy pieces you have. We also do have Nimble Protector, which was also nerfed. Fortification was slightly touched, I believe. Savage Defense, Bash Brutality was also touched in terms of power and how many points you want to put in. Sprinter, again, toned down. Tumbling is also toned down. I think the only thing that wasn't really touched was Mystic Tenacity, I think. Don't quote me on that one. Hard to remember. Defiance was also toned down. So yeah, you're going to see basically general nerf across the board for everybody. But at the same time, I don't think in the long run it makes too much of a huge difference in terms of power creep. And particularly, we need to look at the CP 2.0 changes not within the context of itself, but we also need to look at all this within the context of all the changes occurring with the Blackwood patch. But that's pretty much it. That's all the CP 2.0 system nerfs changes happening for Blackwood. Again, this isn't really finalized yet because this is week 1 on PTS, but we'll see what happens here. By the time it hits week 4 or 5, it's pretty much set in stone for the most part. So maybe there'll be more surprises and such for the players in a few weeks here. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and thanks.